Good day, viewers and listeners. This is another edition of our online chemistry weekly classes. And this week or today, we are going to focus on isomerism. In our previous edition, we talked about introduction to organic chemistry. We have discussed in details hybridization and its applications. We have also talked about how you practice system of naming different kinds of organic compounds, starting from aliphatic up to the cyclic, the bicyclic, the spiro compounds, as well as mono-substituted aromatic hydrocarbons. You can as well subscribe to our YouTube page so as to get more of our online video classes. Now, as I said earlier on, we are going to focus our discussion today on isomerism. What is isomerism? Isomerism is a phenomenon that explains the existence of an organic compound in two or more forms based on the arrangement of atoms or bonds in the compound. And the various forms of the compounds that we have are called isomers. We refer to them as isomers. So isomerism can actually be divided into two sections or parts. We have the constitutional isomerism, the one we also refer to as structural. Then we have the stereoisomerism. Okay? Under the constitutional, it is divided into four. We have the chain, constitutional isomerism. We have the positional isomerism. Then the third are what we call the functional, while the fourth type are the metamerism. Okay? The stereoisomerism is as well divided into two. We have what we call configurational stereoisomerism, and the other one is conformational stereoisomerism. The configurational is also divided into two. The first type are what we call the geometric configurational stereoisomerism, while the other type is what we call the enantiomerism. The one you refer to as optical isomerism. The geometric isomerism is also divided into about two or three types. We have the cis and trans, the most common. We have the syn and anti, and we also have the E and Z. When we get there, we are going to discuss that in detail. But today, we want to focus our discussion on constitutional isomerism, the four types that we have. Constitutional isomerism is a phenomenon whereby a particular compound can exist in two or more forms with different arrangement of atoms. It be the functional group or the carbon atoms or other substituents attached to the straight chain. And we have four of its kinds. As I mentioned earlier, the first is the chain isomerism. The chain isomerism is a phenomenon whereby two or more organic molecules have the same molecular formula and functional group, but different carbon chain length. That is, different number of carbon atoms on the straight chain. They have the same functional group. And such different kinds of compounds we have are what we refer to as chain isomer. For instance, when you have a compound with the molecular formula C5H12, of course your mind will go straight to pentane because of this. So if we write the structural formula of the main compound, the straight chain 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, we have normal pentane. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. This is what we refer to as N-pentane. I told you this N in our previous edition represents normal. Anything is straight chain. We can have a chain isomer with 4 carbon atoms, whereby there is a methyl group here attached to the second carbon. You have something like this, and you have H3. So here, this has to be our carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is what? 2-methyl butane. So this is a chain isomer to this. What differentiates them? The length of the carbon atom. They both have the same molecular formula. While another isomer of that, the chain isomer to that, is this. That is 2,2-dimethyl propane. So these are chain isomers to N-pentane, meaning N-pentane has two other chain isomers, which are methylbutane and dimethyl propane. Other examples of chain isomers or isomerism, we want to look at compounds of this kind. C6, okay, H, this is 12 plus 1, 13, CO2H. They must have the same functional group. So the normal compound, the normal straight chain of this is N-hexanoic acid. CH3, CH2, 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 COOH. This is N-hexanoic acid. Okay? We can have an isomer to that. CH3, CH2, 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 CH3, okay, this CH, COOH. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 2-methyl what? Pentanoic acid. The position of this methyl must not change. Once it changes from carbon 2 to carbon 3, you have a different isomer or different type of isomerism. But we are considering chain isomerism, we are only concerned about the length of the chain. So we have a chain of 4 carbon atoms, CH3, CH2, C, CH3, CH3, COOH. And this is what? 2,2-dimethyl butanoic acid. These are the common chain of these compounds that we have. So in that case, chain isomers, as I said earlier on, they have the same molecular formula, the same functional group, but differ in the number of carbon atoms on the straight chain. Those are what we call. We have other examples like butan-2-or, 2-methylpropan-2-or. Take note of that. Butan-2-or, 2-methylpropan-2-or. The position of the OH still remains on carbon 2. So that once the position of the OH changes to propan-1-or or butan-1-or, of course you have a different kind of isomerism. So the second type is what we call the positional isomerism. The positional isomerism involves a situation whereby you have, okay, I think let's go through this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. N-hexanoic acid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2-methylpentanoic. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 2,2-dimethyl butanoic acid. Okay, so that means that does not conform with the molecular formula of this. So that is C5. How many carbon? How many hydrogen? 11 hydrogen. Because this carbon has taken care of the 6 carbon. Now, for positional isomerism, is a phenomenon whereby 2 or more organic molecules have the same molecular formula and functional group, but different positions of an atom or group of atoms. And such series of organic compounds are referred to as positional isomers. Like in this case, typical example, there is a positional isomer to 2-methylpentanoic acid, and that we have different kinds. If this methyl group is on this carbon, it becomes 3-methylpentanoic acid. It's a positional isomer to this. If this methyl group is here, 4-methylpentanoic acid is a positional isomer to this. Likewise here, we can have 2,3-dimethyl-butanoic acid as a positional isomer to this. We can have 2, okay, we can have 3,3. When the 2 methyl groups are attached to this third carbon, 3,3-dimethyl-butanoic acid. That's what we mean by positional. But in case, let's look at other examples. You have something of this nature. We have something like this. OH, OH, okay. This is cyclohexane 1,2-diol. A positional isomer to that can be something of this nature. This is cyclohexane 1,1-diol. We can also have another positional isomer when this is here and this is here. This is cyclohexane 1,3-diol. If we have something like this, OH, OH, this is cyclohexane 1,4-diol. That's what we mean by positional isomerism. We can have another typical example, like in the case of aromatic organic compounds. Look at this. We have, this is a benzene. The benzene ring, then you have amino here, and there is a methyl group here. This is 2-methylamine. If the methyl group is in another position other than carbon 2 to the amino group, carbon 3, this is 3-methylamine or methanolamine. So these are positional isomers. So if the methyl group is on carbon 4, of course that gives us another kind of isomerism. Another typical example is this. You have C4H8O. This compound, we can have it in this format. I'm going for a carbonyl compound. CH3 of ketone. CO. Okay? Alright, let's go with C5H10. O. CH2, CH2, CH3. 5, 7, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what? Pentan 2-O. We can have it as pentan 3-O. CH2, CO, CH2, CH3. So this and this, they have the same functional group. They have the same number of carbon chain length, but what differentiates them is just the position of the functional group. And that's what classifies them as positional isomers. Take note of that. Positional isomers, the number of carbon atoms on the straight chain will be the same, then the functional group will be the same, the molecular formula will be the same, but the position of an atom or group of atoms will not be the same. Another typical example is this. Cl, CH, double bond, CH, Cl. This is 1,2-dichloroethane. You can have CH2, double bond, CCl2, 1,1-dichloroethane. And those are also positional isomers. Let us look at functional isomers. Another type of isomerism under constitutional or structural. The functional isomerism is a phenomenon whereby two or more organic molecules are of the same molecular formula, the same carbon chain length, but different functional groups. Different functional groups. The typical example, and they are called functional isomers. Look at this, C3H6O. We can have here different kind of compounds of different functional groups. I want to write the functional isomers of compounds having this molecular formula. We have CH3, CO, CH3. This is propanol. Or we also refer to it as acetone. Now look at this. CH3, CH2, COH. This is propanol. They have this different functional group. Alkanal functional group, carbonyl group of ketonic functional group. Then look at this, CH2, double bond, CH, CH2OH, 1, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3. These are not enough. So this is carbon 1, 2, 3. On carbon 2 there is a double bond. So this is pro 2 in 1 or. So these three compounds have the same molecular formula and as well different functional group. Let me surprise you. You have this compound. It's also an isomer to these three. But this is a cyclic ether. We name this as cyclopropylene epoxide or cyclopropylene oxide. This is an ether because this oxygen is linked to a carbon atom. It is linked to another carbon atom here. So these are what we call functional isomers. Another typical example is this. Let's look at another kind of functional isomerism belonging to other functional groups. Assuming we have something of this nature, C4H8O2. The simplest compound you think of is this: COO, CH2, CH3. This is ethyl ethanoate. Ethyl ethanoate. It's a functional isomer here. Then you can have something like this: CH3, CH2, CH2, COOH. This is butanoic acid. Okay? What of in a case where you have something like this: CH2, 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 COH. This is a carbonyl group of alkana. This is an hydroxy group of alcohol. So you have 4 hydroxy butana. What of when you have something like this: CH3, COH, H, CO, CH3. This is a ketone, although it contains hydroxy group. This ketone has confirmed it to be a functional isomer to those other 3 compounds. So in this case, you have 3 hydroxy butanol. So these are what we refer to as functional isomers. Then we have the same molecular formula, the same number of carbon atoms, the same number of hydrogen atoms or oxygen, but different functional groups. And that is what classifies them as functional isomers. Now, the next are the metamers. We refer to them as metamerism. So metamerism is a phenomenon whereby 2 or more organic molecules have the same molecular formula and functional group, but different number of carbon atoms on the alkyl chain on the side. Different number of carbon atoms on the alkyl group that is attached to the side chain. Okay, I want us to look at the functional isomer to this compound whose molecular formula is written in this format, and I want to consider an alkanoate. So the simplest, we have CH3, CH2, COO, CH3. This is methyl propanoate. Okay, we can have something like this: CH3, COO, CH2, CH3. This is ethyl ethanoate. Then we can have HCOO, CH2, CH2, CH3. This is what? Propyl methanoate. If you look at what differentiates them, it has to do with the number, the type of alkyl group that is attached to the side A. Another example is this: if we have C3H9N, look at this, we can have CH3, CH2, CH2, NH2. This is propan-1-amine. Okay, let's look at the functional amine, the metamers to this compound. You can have CH3, CH2, and CH3H. So this is N-methyl ethanamine. Okay, what of when you have CH3 and CH3, CH3? So on the nitrogen there are 3 alkyl groups: N, trimethylamine or trimethylamine. So this is what we call metamerism. Metamers, again, they have to do with the number of alkyl groups that are attached to the side chain. And this is mostly common to alkanamine, alkanimine, as well as alkanoates. Thank you very much. We are going to stop here today, and in our next edition, we'll be moving on to another class of isomerism. Thanks for listening and remain blessed.